Hello guys, right, so just to give a bit of an update. So the good news is that the car isn't completely and utterly kaput. It's now actually getting fixed, so by the middle of next week I should be able to have that back. Was a head gasket, and they've got to send it away to get the top skimmed and everything else like that. So that's good news. It's good news it's not completely dead, and I don't need a new engine and all of that. The bad news is it does cost a lot of money, so you know, you're not going to get much change out of £1,000 for this kind of job. If I'd have done it myself I could have saved money, but then this is just where you know, you lack the space to work. You need all the benches. It's not that I haven't got the tools to do it, and I would have still had to have sent the head away to be skimmed. The only thing is it would have cut out a lot of the labour. So basically, yeah, so that's kind of like where it is. It's getting done, it's getting fixed, and then I can kind of get it back, and then maybe I can sort of focus on a couple other bits. Just negotiating a sale of a spoiler cap as part of the body kit. So that'd be the first bit of the body kit I would have bought, which actually for the price of it is not too bad. I think if I was to go and buy a new one, not second hand, I think the new one, there's about 113 or something like that for a cap for this little bit of plastic that just sits on the spoiler. So yeah, you know, whether it's a Maxton design or not, I would have bought one, but then this one came up and I'm like, okay, well, if the opportunity is there for me to buy it, then I will buy that. Save me money where I can get it anyway. So I think, yeah, that kind of puts me in the picture of maybe I just buy the whole thing second hand. I'll get a second hand spoiler. I'm not so sure about side skirts and that, because I would probably rather to get new side skirts. If I got a second hand spoiler, it might save me a few quid. Then I've still got to kind of for me to do what I want to do with it, I still need it in the carbon look anyway. So I'll still have to get it dipped to look like carbon, and the cap will fit onto that, which it will look good. But I might have to like rub it all down, give it a bit of a coat of a primer, maybe have it kind of sprayed glossy black, and then after that I'll have it hydro dipped, so it will have the right effect. Not quite so sure about how much that will cost to do that, so I think it shouldn't be as much as trying to buy a carbon spoiler. Not that I'd need a carbon spoiler, because the car's a light car anyway. So yeah, that's kind of made me kind of think about that, like, you know, if I can get certain bits and pieces kind of second hand, that'll save me an awful lot of cost. I think the next thing, the next big cost I got to do is drive over to Kent and then go and get the camshafts. So there will be yeah, so that'll be the next part. So that'll be like kind of then getting them installed, which shouldn't make too much of a difference in regards of putting any pressure or putting the actual engine under too much pressure. But definitely think that really to get the best out of it, that's the only way I can go before having it tuned. So those are the kind of objectives. I've still got to install the underglow, so there's still some bits and pieces I need to get for that, but hopefully in not too much time I'll be able to kind of start pulling in a few more extra funds in order to carry on this project. because at the moment everything's kind of limited. So yeah, that's got to be, that's kind of my target, is to start pulling in extra funds from somewhere. You know, for the long-term aim, do my HGV license and everything else like that should hopefully get me a steady stream. But between now and then, like, it's just getting enough temporary work in to be able to go forward and number one, sort of like be able to live half decently, and secondly, to be able to kind of carry on the projects. Once I've done the projects, then like, you know, that would be my car to kind of enjoy. Do I get another car just kind of like as a backup and a run around, kind of get some multi-car insurance, and then just have a spare? If the bank balance kind of allowed for that, yes, I would do it. I think that's a sensible way forward. I think with regards to kind of anything like that, yeah, I think with regards to anything like that way, it's always kind of good to have kind of like a bit of a backup. Having a second vehicle, so long as you can afford to run it and insure it and all of that, you don't need anything great. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be anything absolutely fantastic. It's just got to get you from A to B. My car I've got at the moment, when it's really kind of done up and it's finished, obviously I will look after it. I will look after it anyway. These things are expensive to have, and to run, not ordinarily. So yeah, I'd want to look after it and maybe have something else that maybe don't mind being in a bit of a worse state, just because it'll be used for getting around A and B, and obviously something not too expensive to have to lay out loads of money for in the first place. So that if it did die, it's not a huge loss. I'd probably still get kind of decent money back for what I laid out. So, you know, so that's kind of like how that is. That's my sort of thoughts on things regarding that. So hopefully, yeah, hopefully it'll kind of work out well in that regards. I think my car, getting that back, I mean, being able to continue on with that, I can breathe a sigh of relief. And I've got some friends out there that I owe a huge debt of gratitude for being able to bail me out and to really kind of help me out of a sticky situation with it. So that's been an absolute godsend in regards of the financial aspect. But then, you know, paying for the car and everything else like that, or this bill, it's still going to come at a cost to me. But I've got a bit of breathing space. It's not like I've had to go to kind of a loan company or plunge myself into loads of debt to try and get myself out of this position. So I'm really grateful for my friends for being able to step up to the mark and that. But yeah, it's not going too bad. So really, that's the update on the car. When I get it back, hopefully I'll take it for a drive, and it'll be hopefully even better. Hopefully it'll feel like a new engine in there. And it should give me a lot more feel out of it. You know, should be a lot more feeling out of it. So yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing how it's different. It should feel like a newer car again, and it should have a really nice bit of smoothness to it. So I am actually quite looking forward to getting that back. So it's not even that long a time. So today's Tuesday, it's just over a week. to be fair, the guys worked on it pretty quickly. They would have had it for just over a couple of weeks. So really, for them getting the car, being able to do the work, sending the bits off, ordering the parts to come in and everything else, that's not actually that long a time at all, really. Because if I'd have done it myself, it probably would have been a little bit longer, because it would have taken 2 weeks to get the parts in. And like I said, to be able to then strip it down, take the head off, send the head away to get re-skimmed, all of that, it would have taken, probably would have taken a lot longer than 2 weeks. So yeah, I think that's going to run well within a decent time frame for me to be able to get it back. But you know what? If you get that kind of issue, yeah, how did we end up here? Really, I think the mistake that I made when I changed the pump and I changed the thermostat, put new thermostat on it. It's not that I made a mistake in doing that, but I do believe perhaps I should have got the pressure test done, which may have saved a bit of money somewhere along the line. I didn't do a pressure test on the engine, so when I put it back together and it was all running, it was all looking fine. I think that may have solved the kind of leak issue and that temporarily. However, it wouldn't have solved the main issue that caused the problem in the first place, which was the gasket failing. And I think had I done a pressure test at that point, that would have highlighted that there was an issue with the gasket, which may have saved a little bit more money than having to go and straightforward and doing it and ended up like stuck on the M11 and all that for 10 hours and all that kind of business. Fortunately, I think being a little bit older and wiser is kind of how I managed to deal with just basically being stuck on the side of the road and waiting for that time. If I may have been a bit younger, I think I would definitely have tried to driven it until it had died, which only saved me an awful lot of expense of having a seized engine and trying to get over that hill. So yeah, I think I'd rather that happen now and kind of know what to do and how to handle the situation as it rose. But it was the one thing that I didn't want it to be, because I knew it'd probably be the most expensive kind of outcome. You're talking, you know, any head gasket 500 to 1200 as a job lot. Anyway, if I had gone to my main dealership for the work to be done, they wanted like $1,000 just to look at the job anyway, and I thought, well, by the time they've actually stripped the engine down, done the work and all the rest of it, I think according to them, they wouldn't have even skimmed the engine, because they're basically saying there's not enough tolerance and stuff, which there's minor tolerance. You can get away with it. There is tolerance there to get away with, just not a lot. But I don't think it would have been that bad anyway, so it's not like they're going to have to take loads of material off. It literally just smooth it out and it'll be fine. But yeah, you know, they wouldn't have even done that. They would have like charged for a whole new head, which is where you get more of the expense. So then you've got twice the amount of labour, and twice the amount of cost. So my friend's like, I know a garage, let's get them to have a look at it. So he did a bit of bartering on my behalf. They came and picked up the car, collected it back to their garage, had a look at it, gave me the good news. It was the gasket. It hasn't gone like kind of any further than that, which is great, because of if they had have been extra damage or any kind of warping or anything else of the engine block. That was not the kind of news that I was hoping for. So that would have basically said goodbye to the engine, have a new engine put in, at which point I may have looked at a different kind of engine anyway. I might have looked to be something else in it, because if the engine's going to die, well, I might as well put something a little bit better in it. So really, in that way, I'm kind of glad for the outcome. And I'm kind of glad that actually the whole experience kind of made me reevaluate kind of my position as regards to, you know, what happens in the next occurrence if this does happen. You know, what happens when the next vehicle blows up or something like that? How are you going to get yourself out of that? Because you know, not everybody is going to be about to kind of bail you out at every time. So you kind of have to then sort of reevaluate and say, okay, well, what do I need? Definitely need a steady stream of income, and you know, I've got to get that kind of pot together so I can be prepared for any future events or occurrences. So that's kind of where things are at the moment. Hopefully come next week when I do go and pick it up, I'll be happy with the way it drives, and then I can kind of get on with finishing the other bits and pieces that I was doing, and then get that back up to being at the right stage of the project. And then yeah, hopefully I mean in my mind, I kind of already know what the outcome look will be, so I think actually, yeah, I'd be really happy with the final outcome, and then I could sort of crack on towards that. I'm not worried about kind of like the finished article, but I don't know kind of what things are going to come up in between now and then. So I've got to kind of try and get myself into a state of readiness for that. But most of it from this point on, it's not going to be too technical, and I think hopefully what I'll show is if you guys kind of want to go and try and attempt doing these kind of projects yourself, that it is possible. You don't need like loads of experience, but you do need a little bit of savvy around tools, and you need to be able to go and do a bit of research and everything else, and have the time to research and look, and really, you know, I've had to I really had to kind of get a grip on different videos, and really, you know, I've had to watch him several times to really make sure I've got a good grasp and understanding of the process as I've been going on doing it. So yeah, hopefully I've got a good grasp going forward. I kind of know the right places to go in order to kind of get that information and to get that kind of knowledge base. So yeah, I think with that I'm looking forward to kind of continuing on. But that's this update over and done with. Not really a lot else to kind of say about it at the moment. So I'm just going to wait to get the car back. Maybe I'll do another video then and make sure everything's all good. And hopefully as well, somewhere in the future, I'll pull in a bit of money, and I hope to kind of improve the kind of cameras and everything else I'm using. At the moment, I'm just using my phone, which I don't think it's too bad, but I'd rather have something that was a little bit more hands-free in order to be able to work effectively and kind of like show kind of like a bit more of the process, a little bit more in depth, rather than to put down start stop. Eventually what I also will be able to do is I hope to be able to, one, get another computer, because I had to sell all my stuff over Christmas and stuff, so I've got to then look at buying new stuff in. But it's not a bad thing necessarily, because I can get a bit more up to date bits and pieces. Also as well, I think I'll be able to get somebody to tailor make the software, so when they sell me a computer and everything like that, like it will be tailored to the kind of what I need to have on it. Probably get a better deals doing that than just buying one randomly, and yeah, it may show you a lot of money for one, but then I've got the other cost of getting the software, editing software and everything else I need to be able to make the content better, make it a bit more smoother. At the moment I'm just getting used to doing reels and stuff like that, so hopefully the reels that I put out, it's giving me a little bit of kind of a know-how how to get things done. I kind of understand it a little bit, but there's always a bit further I can go with it. So that's kind of where I'm going to leave things for now, and then I'll just keep you updated sort of after next week really, and then hopefully can give you a little bit more on installing the underglow, and then after I've put the underglow on, I can kind of concentrate a little bit more on putting in the switches. Hopefully I can then make the purchase for the auxiliary fuse box, which actually I might actually make a purchase of that today, so then that's ready, so when I do get the car back I kind of got those bits and pieces. Yeah man, that guy's killing it, he's killing it. So yeah, I will I'll leave it there, and then I'll keep you updated on that, and make it. I've got a couple of decisions to make, kind of where I put the switches and everything else fully, but yeah, there's some finalisations to do, but I'll get there. I'll get there over the next couple of months, and then I'm hoping by the summer I can really concentrate kind of a little bit more on the other bits, like the sound system, get a new sound system in there, how to install that, the installation process of that. Also as well, with kind of like the reupholstery going on, I kind of like the seats. They're not the most sportiest seats in the world, they're not like kind of Recaras or anything else like that, but then it's not like a VXR and stuff like that. It's not really going to reach up to those speeds anyway, but it's going to be good enough just to have a little bit more of a personalisation going on there. And then there's obviously the lights, so there'll be like the interior ambient lighting and everything else to install, so that's going to be quite good. I know I've already given out some thought about how to install it, and where I'm going to sort of pipe off the system I'm going to come off to make that run smoothly with the car. So yeah, there's all that to come. Yeah, again, it's all the expense of like buying everything out. They're not always the cheapest. The system that I want isn't necessarily the cheapest system, but it's not going to really break the bank anyway. But yeah, there's all that to come. So hopefully that'll be content you can enjoy watching, and I can probably set up another camera and everything else by that point, and you'll enjoy the process of going in and doing this stuff, and hopefully I can show you enough content and make it clear enough about what you need to do to then go and do it yourself. If you like cars and you like sort of like doing the projects yourself, hopefully this will inspire you enough to be able to do it. You don't need to be like an aeronautical engineer or anything else like that, but you do need a little bit of confidence around using the tools, and also how you go about getting the specs that you need for the certain torque settings and everything else like that, which you can get off the manufacturer's websites a lot of the time. We can speak to the manufacturers direct, but yeah, torque settings are quite important. But yeah, some people don't worry about the torque settings, just do everything up flipping tight. That's the torque setting they set it to, flipping tight. So yeah, but hopefully that's the kind of like stage of the project at the moment, and we'll see where we get to by the summer.
God, I really hope I can get a lot of this done by the summer, but we'll see. All right, I'll leave it there, and then catch you on the next one.